So you just finished 12 years on the biggest show in America. What's next? You take a break, spend time with your family, and maybe even open a bar if you're Johnny Galecki. John Galecki played David Healy, Darlene Connor's love interest on the first season of Roseanne from 1992 to 1997. When season 2 of The Big Bang Theory finished in 2019, the spin-off show The Connors had just been picked up for a second season. Once Galecki played David again in 2 episodes of the spin-off, talks began to make David a regular character. He told Parade magazine in 2019, "That's kind of my second home with those people, and I still have a bit of a high school crush on that character." You can't make that kind of relationship with someone after knowing them for 30 years. But Galecki didn't want to become a regular on the show because he had just spent more than 10 years on The Big Bang Theory. So he was a guest star on The Connors every once in a while until season 5, when he was finally written off. In 2023, executive producer Bruce Halford told TV Line that this wasn't an easy choice. "We have to deal with what's going on in the Connors' lives, so we just decided this was the time to address David's absence," he said. This show's main character David is Harrison and Mark's dad. But because Galecki isn't always available, David acts like a bad dad on the show. They thought that by going this way they might have more options than if they had killed him off. This was done so that GI could come back if he ever wanted to. The Connors finished in 2025 though, and Galecki never made that last comeback. "My life has changed. It's changed everything for my family. I'm so thankful." When The Big Bang Theory was over, Galecki said he wanted to spend some time alone. He said, "I'm going to do some traveling and spend some time with family, which I haven't been able to for a while, and work with my production company." Galecki also said he'd still find time to act, but besides The Connors he hasn't been in many movies or TV shows in the past few years. The last movie he was in was A Dog's Journey, which came out in 2019. And the last time he was on The Connors was in season 2. The producer of Connor, Bruce Halford, says that Galecki has stopped acting, but it's not because he doesn't have any chances. Hell told TV Line that he loved being on the show, but that his real life comes first. Johnny G was born in Belgium and grew up in Illinois. He went to Los Angeles to try to become an actor. But even after all these years he still didn't want to live in the city. He told Architectural Digest in 2024, "I never felt like much of an Angelino, and I did try. I don't mean that as an insult, I say it out of sadness." Galecki bought a half-acre hideaway in the Hollywood Hills in 2015. The Spanish-style property had a villa from the 1920s, a guest house and a loggia. Jason Statham and Ben Stiller used to own it. The house was private and fancy, but it didn't make GKI feel less like an alien. What he meant was 30 years is a very long time to live in a city that you don't feel at home in. But that doesn't mean that living in Hollywood didn't have its good points. Galecki did say that acting jobs took him to many towns across the country over the years, allowing him to live out his travel dreams. It was in Nashville, Tennessee that he finally found a place he could truly call home. Galecki later said, "Everywhere I looked here felt like the setting for a memory that would happen in the future." When he saw the first house, he fell in love with it. The next part of his life began all too quickly. In 2018, Galecki bought his first house in Nashville. He rented out his LA estate for $45,000 a month for a while, but in the end he decided to sell it in 2023. Today a lot of dreams came true. The long past of Galecki's Gothic Nashville home is what made him fall in love with it in the first place. It was built in either 1801 or 1811, he told Architectural Digest. "I've heard both. In the beginning it was just a log cabin. Since then it has grown into a 12,000 square foot 5-bedroom house on 30 acres of land on the edge of town." Galecki wanted the makeover to show how the house looked at a certain point in time. He said that, "Our goal was very different from most remodels, which are to make the old look like it's brand new." But he ran into a lot of problems when he tried to bring the past into the present. One reason is that the skills and products needed have changed a lot in the last 100 years. He told me, "With very limited knowledge of the area, resources and relationships, and a little one running around, I thought this is going to take me at least 7 years to try to do it myself." But Galecki didn't give up. He hired interior designers to help him make changes to the house that would honor its past while also making it his own. Louisa Pierce, his designer, told Architectural Digest, "The renovation touched every part of the house." In May 2019, Galecki and Elena Meyer, who was dating him at the time, announced that they were going to have a baby. We are over the moon to announce that we will soon be welcoming a little one into this crazy and wonderful world, they told People magazine. Their son Orbison was born in November. In December, Galecki shared the news on Instagram, writing, "With full and grateful hearts we welcome our beautiful son into this amazing world. Thank you for all the love and help." They moved into their new home in Nashville right before the COVID-19 outbreak hit the United States. By November 2020 it was said that the couple had broken up, which was sad. Meyer has not talked about Galecki in an Instagram post since March 2020. All three of them were last seen online together in April 2020, in an Easter blessing post that has since been removed. Even though Galecki and Meyer never said why they broke up in public, the reports became true when Galecki got married again in 2024. The cover of the March 2024 issue of Architectural Digest was the first time Galecki said he was married. A daughter named Una Evelina was born to Johnny and his wife Morgan not long after the picture shoot. People knew Johnny was married for a long time, but no one knows when or how they met or how they got married. Also, not much is known about Morgan and her life, and the couple chose to keep their private lives secret. Johnny and Morgan took Orbison to Walt Disney World in Orlando in January 2023. That's the first time Morgan was seen on Johnny's Instagram page. "Welcome to everyone who comes to this happy place." After that, in September 2024, the three of them went to Disneyland in California with their newest family member for a Halloween event. Johnny wrote on Instagram, "It's an amazing day when you are making memories with your kids that you could only dream of when you were little." Since 2015, Galecki has been running his Warner Brothers-based production business Alcaba Productions. He hired Andrew Hose as vice president right away to work on The Cleanse, a dark comedy directed by Bobby Miller that also stars Galecki. When Galecki got an EP credit on a Fox pilot called No Place Like Home, he was eager to work on more projects. The move to production was a dream come true for him. He told Deadline, "I've wanted to produce for more than 10 years and I've always been excited by the challenge of helping to grow and nurture a major creative idea with artists I respect." The Cleanse came out in 2016. After 2 years, CBS picked up the comedy show Bait and Tackle from Malta Baba Productions, but it never seems to have started. Still, Galecki started making music regularly after that, and he's been working on a lot of different projects lately. In 2021, he stopped making comedies and started working on an ABC medical drama series based on J. Catching Babies, Danke's book. It looks like this series has also not moved forward. On the 15th anniversary of the pilot episode of The Big Bang Theory, the group got together to talk about their experiences for Jessica Radloff's book The Big Bang Theory, the inside story of the iconic hit series. Radloff got in touch with, among others, Johnny Galecki and most of the main cast and crew for her project. In the end, Radloff said that her first Zoom conversation with Galecki lasted 4 hours. When she wrote for Glamour, for someone who was probably the most afraid of opening up, he would later admit it was one of the best gifts, she said. Galecki seemed to be very in favor of the project. He sent more pictures and agreed to talk to Kay Cuoco about their relationship on and off screen. He wrote, "Johnny's Cannon Door opened the door to some really powerful conversations, and for that I am extremely grateful." Galecki and Cuoco talked about their relationship with Radloff for the first time. They fell in love with each other just like their characters did on screen. The two of them talked about the elevator shaft dream scene in Nerdvana as a turning point. Radix heard Cuoco say, "I think we fell a little in love in that elevator shaft. Why do you keep putting them together? That is no longer something people do. Why do they always have to? It always ends with tears." Not at all. Fans were shocked when Galecki told them in 2021 that he had given his voice to a new version of the Cinnamon Bear, a popular 1937 holiday radio show. Galecki joined an all-star group for Audible Cinnamon Bear, a holiday adventure. Ryan Reynolds played Santa Claus and Alan played the bear's name. Fifo the Giant was played by Galecki. The new show is based on the original and follows Judy and Jimmy as they look for a lost silver star tree topper. They meet Cinnamon Bear along the way and he takes them to a land full of strange people. Galecki had never done voice acting before, but he had known writer Eric Gillen for a long time. So it was a no-brainer for Galecki to be in the radio series for kids that was made by his longtime friend. Galecki wrote on Instagram in 2024, "For the past 33 years when people asked how Eric Gillen and I met, I answered, Eric made me from one of his ribs." A post about their friendship. He worked on the radio series with a lot of well-known voices like John Goodman as Presto the Magician and Helen Hunt, who won an Oscar for her role as Professor Wiz the Owl. She wrote on Instagram at the time, proud to be a part of this holiday love and laughter. It's possible that Galecki couldn't find a real home in Los Angeles, but he did in Nashville. After that, he didn't take long to start making moves in the area, teaming up with TV personality and businessman Billy Deck. It was 2024 when Galecki opened the Blueprint Underground Cocktail Club in the middle of Nashville. Deck was in charge of making Chicago's secret club scene happen before. That place quickly became a popular spot for local celebrities, drawing Bruno Mars, Katy Perry, David Beckham, and many more. Deck took his son to New Asian restaurant to Nashville after he moved there. After that, he thought downtown Nashville needed a little something different. For Galecki, the Blueprint was more than just a chance to make money. In the 1940s and 1950s, this part of town was home to many nightclubs. The Blueprint is in the famous Printer's Alley. Galecki wrote on Instagram, proud to be a part of building this fun spot in an old space. When the club first opened, a lot of famous people from Nashville came to the bar. Some of the people who came out to support were Reba McEntire, Martina McBride, Macy Gray, Kevin Griffin, and many more. Even though all of these famous people support the club, it's not really exclusive. She told Forbes it's very open and easy to get to, and there's no cover charge.